football on EA Sports. Coming up next, we've got what should be a good one between the Denver Broncos and the Oakland Raiders. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Oakland, California. This was the scene a few minutes ago. The folks around the stadium clad in silver and black going to make every last game played in Oakland count. They're ready to go as their Raiders get set to match up with the Denver Broncos. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at the Raiders here entering play. They're hot as can be. Winners of 8 of their last 9 games.
I don't know if you'd call this start a surprise exactly, but they've proven that they're going to be able to stand toe-to-toe with anybody.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. Returning it, Carlos Henderson. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their 6'7" quarterback out of Memphis. It's Paxton Lynch.
And I thought in last week's game, he found a way to win like a good pitcher without his best stuff. I mean, he did throw 2 interceptions, offset by 1 touchdown pass. Not the ratio, not the numbers you're really looking for as a QB.
Now Lynch on first down. And his first pass is incomplete. Thomas, the intended target. That'll bring up second down. The offensive starters now for the Broncos.
Let's focus outside on Demaryius Thomas. His numbers were down slightly last year. First time in the last 5 years he didn't top 1,000 yards. But this guy's been to 5 Pro Bowls. And when I think about the evolution of his career, from his time at Georgia Tech where they were running an option offense and he didn't catch much more than bombs, to now being a complete receiver, no reason in my mind to think he won't be over 1,000 yards again in the future.
A carry for the Northern California native, Devontae Booker. Able to shake free for about 7 up to the 35.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3.
All right, here we go.
From the gun, it's Lynch. And this is going to be incomplete. Sharice Wright could do no wrong there, able to get a hand in and knock it away.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by their quarterback out of Fresno State. It's the Pro Bowler, Derek Carr.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at the 20.
Hey, we're good, we're good.
The first carry for DeAndre Washington fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. Yeah, the offensive starters here for the Raiders.
One of the things I like to do when I'm scouting players is talk to those who knew him before, and I ended up finding out that Amari Cooper has been like a professional route runner since the time he was 6 or 7 years old, has always taken the game seriously, has always worked on his craft, and you see evidence of that each and every week on an NFL field. Couple that with his athletic ability, that's one big reason he's finding himself open in the NFL.
On second down, here's Carr. Got an open man, it's Aikman. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
From the gun now on third down, Carr. He completes it to Bryant. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. 7 yards on the quick slant and a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
On the carry, here's Marshawn Lynch. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32. Now a play fake. Carr. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. It's picked up by the Broncos. So they've got the football, and they'll start right on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
So the Broncos come back out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
I'm impressed, don't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct? But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games? Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadruple. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
A look at the defensive starters now for the Raiders. They were very good in the victory a week ago over Cincinnati.
But when you hold someone to just 6 points in a game, the feeling that you have among your team is you're not going to lose very many of those. That's the way to get it done.
Here we go. Green, 30.
On second down, Lynch. Left side here, caught by Clay. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Second down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a third and a couple remaining. From the shotgun, it's Lynch. He's got a man. It's Sutton. That's complete. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short. Blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
Let's go. Green 39.
Out of the gun, Lynch. Drops it underneath for Booker. No gain on the play there. It'll be 2nd down. They couldn't get anything going there out on the right side of the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal.
Green 39.
Throwing again here, Lynch. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Bruce Irvin in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
Lynch with it on 3rd and goal. He goes underneath to Freeman, and he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. They wind up with 6 on the hook up there, but it's not enough. 4th and goal. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. Do you like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And McManus able to put it through. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And right now, a lot to like on that screen. They've wrapped up the division, now currently sitting in the coveted number 2 spot. Of course, you'd love number 1, but if you can't have one, number 2 is pretty good.
I agree with you totally, and here's the other part, too. The really good teams, the really confident teams, they're not as worried about being number 1. 2 is fine because they feel like they can go on the road and win against number 1 if they absolutely have to. The big thing, though, is clinching one of those early buys and able to sit and get a little rest as the playoffs begin. One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Carr to throw on 2nd down. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play. And just like that, it's 3rd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Go. Get set. 808.
From the gun on 3rd down. Carr firing quickly here, and that's complete. Quick slant there gets him the first down, 6 yards on the play. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number 1, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger game. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
On first, here's Washington. And some room to roam now. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Well, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
carry for Doug Martin, the two-time Pro Bowler in Tampa. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. And they're driving, but they come up on a 3rd and short here.
Yo, Chief.
Here's Carr to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to get this one down right to the edge of the red zone of the chalk of the 20. A gain of 26 on the 3rd down conversion. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Martavis Bryant, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders are able to cash in for 6. Tavecchio good on the extra point. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. Tavecchio now to kick this one away. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups, check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to. They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
A 2nd down carry for Booker. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
On 3rd down, Lynch. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the first down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10. Derek Carr getting set and ready to go again on offense here. 5 for 5 that last drive. Touchdown pass as well. He was clicking. Receivers, I don't want to be cliche, but running really solid routes too.
And what I love about it is when you look across any team, all right, the body types of the receivers are usually different. The way that they get open, different as well. Some of them use power to get open. Some of them use those head fakes and subtle moves. Some of them just use pure speed. And the really good ones, when they're established, they know how to push off at the end of a route, too.
That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to. They didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. And, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. And all the Cooper, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders add on to their lead. And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have the empirical numbers that say that in recent years the Hail Mary pass has been completed more than it has been, but it feels that way, doesn't it? And I know the defenses are spending more time on it. I think the biggest mistake they make is that they play everything from behind the receiver. I think they've got to start getting people in front as well to try and knock the ball away.
And Denver getting set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Hot. Blue 90. Hot.
On second down, here's Lynch. And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Set. Green 35.
They go play action here on first down. And down he goes. The pressure getting to Lynch. To here Whitehead. In there to get him. And that's sack number 6 for him on the year. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's second and 20.
319.
Lynch leaves it with Booker on the draw. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Now that gets back some of what they needed, but they're still stuck here with a 3rd and 13.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
False start, offense.
And that'll set them back 5.
Still 3rd down.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long.
Set. Blue 90.
Off the play fake. Here's Lynch. Got a man. He finds Sanders. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. That one goes for 24 yards. He's been the forgotten man in this first half. Not a guy you want to forget. Not only his first catch, first time they've targeted him.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Not
because
at all.
those are the types of plays that he provides. When he does come alive, when they do look his way, not only is it a big catch, it's a first down.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Two minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Oakland after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Lynch looking to throw on second. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll be 3rd down. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
Looking for his tight end, Clay, and it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, 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 and what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
29.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Carr. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
The Raiders on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 7. Shotgun now for Carr. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. And Denver getting set to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Set. Green 39.
Here's Lynch to throw. They set up the screen to Booker. Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. The Broncos on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation.
All right, here we go. Green 39.
Operating from the gun. Lynch. This is Booker on the dump off. They'll give him a yard on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. Here's Marquette King now as he's on to punt for Oakland. Here's Jones. And spins away. Now a hit and a loose football. It's picked up by the Broncos. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Was hoping to make a play there on the return with his speed. Instead, he makes a play for the other side.
Yeah, and how many times have we heard coaches say, you know, sometimes it's not really about those X's and O's we draw up. It's about those Jimmies and Joes. And when you have a punt returner, he's one of those Jimmies and Joes, one of the best athletes. He's unable to make the play that they were seeking, though.
Throwing here, Lynch on first down. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock. He was trying to hit Thomas that time, and that'll bring up second down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So on third down, the field goal before half. He hit his first. Now this from 43. And McManus able to put it through. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
So the lead trimmed down to 8 as here comes the kickoff, and it's away. And on the return, here comes Adam Jones. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. They go with Washington to begin the drive. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. No, I'm not mad at you for skipping halftime, but can I just have a sip of water real quick, please? Thank you. All right, let's go. This one fielded at the 5. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that. Carr gives to Richard. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big. Carr to throw after the play fake to Lynch. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Trent Murphy coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. Fielded just inside the 30. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Broncos take over, first down. And 10. Lynch will lead up the Broncos here with a 1st and 10 at their own 46. The drive starts with Devontae Booker, and he'll find his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Justin Ellis in on the stop. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. 4 yards on the pickup, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
The Broncos on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Here's Lynch. And that is incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
Here's Marquette King now. He's been terrific so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. And now Oakland ready to take the field. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game? You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game. 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll start the drive with Washington. Now the ball comes loose, but I think the Raiders are going to be able to hold on to it, yes.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. On 2nd down, Washington. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. He completes it to Jordan Nelson. And he's going to be taken down deep into Bronco territory.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
And goal, Washington. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Well, he had 2 sacks earlier. Now he has 4 total tackles for a loss after that play.
Well, they obviously have to do a better job trying to block it. But short of that, know what the quarterback has to do? Make sure he doesn't hand it to him when he's back there thinking he's one of his own guys. His quickness, his suddenness, his speed getting into the offense's backfield has been something else in this game.
They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12. To throw his car. Out left side here to Bryant. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal.
Hey, here we go.
Working from the gun, it's Carr. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 10 yards gets him closer, but now it's 4th and goal.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
Now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep him warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
On the tackle that time, Bruce Irvin. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Right back to Booker. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Lynch turns and gives to Booker. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling.
3rd and 2, right? So this is a situation where low man has got to win at the line of scrimmage, but it's not just the low man winning. It's the low man who's winning with some force, and they had that to pick up the first down.
Barely picking it up, but they did. Booker on 1st down. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down, but a nice little gain. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking with those big behemoths starting to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
Now let's go.
Lynch hands to Booker. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Now they'll look to throw it with Lynch. Left side here, caught by Clay. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. That good for 6 as they keep this drive right on rolling.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Back now in the East Bay. It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4. They'll throw on first down with Lynch. Man open right side, it's the tight end Clay. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling him almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. First catch there for Thomas. It's a first down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
Now Lynch on first down. His throw caught right around the 6. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Charles Clay, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Broncos draw a bit closer. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown.
Well, partner, since this new two-point rule came into play, offenses spend a lot more time working on it. That means the defenses are doing the exact same thing.
That's fielded in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bad.
I don't know about that. Super tough.
This is Richard. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down. Now on first down. Bryant with a catch right side. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take this one down to about the 46-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
Staying on the ground with Washington. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. And in this situation with the lead, 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
On the ground, Richard, and not going to be able to push this forward. He runs into a wall right at the line of scrimmage. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. They're able to keep the drive alive. 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
Offensively, with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for.
Oh, no, he lost the football. Carr now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Carr. He's to the 10. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. And he'll be stopped up after only a couple of yards as he gets it down to the 5.
Oh, Brandon, I'm going to tell you, this is football time to me. They're inside the 10-yard line. That's like drawing the line in the sand. Who's going to make the stand here? Defensive guys, they know if he gets in the end zone, this ball game is over. And the guys with the football right now, they're thinking, let's just pound it in there.
Got to hold him to 3 to keep this a one-score game. And he is out of bounds here. 5 yards that time on the completion, and now it's 3rd and goal.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
The battle in the trenches never more important than right now. This is 3rd and inches.
Down! 185! That's 3! Pass! Check. Later, 9!
There's a give to Richard, and he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. Less than an extra point attempt here. This is an 18-yarder. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
And Denver getting set to take the field.
Here we go. Green, 39!
They'll look to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
Over the middle, and it's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the first down. That's what's vital to them.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
He's back to throw. And the third down pass falls incomplete. This defense looking impenetrable now. 3 straight incompletions. They're giving him nowhere to go with the football. Maybe a little frustrated back there?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. When you've missed on 3 straight, there's going to be some frustration. But now he's got to make sure that that frustration is temporary, not lingering. Big throw coming up.
And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. So now let's look at the situation. They do have all 3 timeouts remaining, so barring a first down, they could conceivably get the ball back.
So now it's all about defense and stopping the clock. Don't give up any yardage, right? Use your timeouts. And your offense always practices going downfield without timeouts. You know, those 2-minute drills, most of them are run in practice without the benefit of timeouts. Someone make it as tough a situation as possible. They're in it right now.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down.
Well, it may seem a little unorthodox to some people. Got the lead, 4th quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football, be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
No, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
Carr gives it off to Washington. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. Carr going to look to throw. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. So 2 plays with only negative yardage to show, and now it's 3rd and 16. Carr to throw. Roberts with it over the middle. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
7:34. 7:34.
They'll go for it. It's Carr. His pass caught at the 4. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. That one a backbreaker as they wind up converting there on 4th. A gutsy decision there going for it on 4th, but they got it, and that likely puts an end to this one.
Indeed, it was gutsy because there's...
And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it.
And that touchdown should make you feel comfortable. But do you really feel like it's totally over yet?
Not totally, but I think you're pretty much there.
Yeah, you've still got to make sure you stay with it, do all the right things down the stretch, especially on defense. But that touchdown there, you've got to feel good about your chances.
And oh, it's no good on the PAT, so they can't add on here. And our score is going to stay right where it is. To Vecchio now to kick this one away. On the return is Henderson. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't.
Emmanuel Sanders past the 20. And he takes this one into the end zone, and all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high-percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
So still a small chance here with a little over 30 seconds to go, but they're definitely going to need this one to bounce their way. And it's the Raiders that'll come up with it. And that will put victory in sight for the silver and black. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now this one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
Carr down to a knee, and that ought to just about do it.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for Oakland, the wins keep coming as this one moves them to 12-3 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, they're guaranteed now a sub-500 season.
Look in the mirror, how could you face that? Mask on, don't even know where my face at. Plenty don't even know where waste at. All these in the room, how could you waste that? Huh? Why would you chase that? It's a never-ending run on this racetrack. No matter what, I'ma stay black. It's a never-ending run on this racetrack. Need more jewelry. What I tell myself as I write my eulogy. Ask the mirror, how you put up with this foolery? In reply, how you put up with this song and dance, all this buffoonery. Long romance, death, what it do to me? Yamagini dream was a nightmare. He was dancing with the devil for his life, yeah. We all on the dance floor. Girl, come with a dance. Puerto Rican in the breathing heavy. Little had my looking daddy. Couldn't tell him nothing cause we lost him already.